But going through some of the details that we heard, starting first from Department of Public Safety Commissioner Mike Soschuk. First responders got here at 10:05, so they have now been on scene for more than 6 hours shortly. And there have been so many different agencies providing mutual aid. They don't have an exact tally on what they are. And he had mentioned what I had been saying for hours here, is that many of these responding departments, like Appleton that just passed by, are from these small rural communities that are volunteer fire departments. So again, we don't have any update on injuries, the extent of injuries, but we will be working to bring that to you as this investigation continues. ATF, OSHA, the DEP, as well as Maine State Police, they're investigating. Governor Janet Mills expected here soon. So as you can tell from this response that we're seeing, this is a significant fire that will have a significant impact on this community for quite a long time.
Well, and to your point, Sean, this is a close-knit community. All of these communities around the area are very close-knit, and we've just been seeing some of the comments on Facebook, too, of, asking about friends, asking about family, asking about neighbors, even the fire departments that are responding. People are asking, well, I know this firefighter. Are they okay? And we do know that firefighters were injured today, and we know that civilians were injured today. We also know that some of these fire departments, some of these volunteer fire departments have lost fire trucks in the midst of this to fire.
Yeah, that's significant. Let's for now we'll keep the focus on just that, right? The people that
the human beings, right?
Yeah, but then you think about the fact that a small volunteer fire department in a small town trying to replace that truck, however many weeks or months from now,
it's significant.
It is going to be a big cost because those machines are expensive. And it's a small town with a small tax base that may not be able to support that. So hopefully there will be agencies around the state or some other entity that can provide some help for these small towns that have lost a really important part of their public safety operation.
Right.
Law enforcement not able to comment on how many were injured, who were injured, what their injuries are. So we're getting that information from the other sources that we've been working with, the hospital systems themselves, other fire departments commenting on what's happened. But no official word on what injuries, if any, look like from the official law enforcement side, which is interesting and I know very frustrating for a lot of people. As we talk about the human impact, that is a question so many people have of who was injured and what are those injuries.
I guess it's just important then, because we're going to have to address...
And then how shortly after that?
I just want to address that when you listen to us talk about this tonight, we're going to do our best to convey the information that we have, but you'll have to listen to the source from which we cite. So when we say X number of people injured, it's according to whom? Well, it might be the hospital, or it might be a fellow fire department, right? Like you were bringing up the Thorndike Fire Department post. So just keep in mind as you're listening to us throughout the afternoon and on our the variety of different ways you can get our news, whether it's on the website or mobile app, or social media, that we are being really careful about how we attribute that information, who is saying how many people have been hurt and to what degree and what conditions they're in. It's just really important for us because of what Brian mentioned, that we didn't get those nuts and bolts details from the investigators who are on the scene.
Okay. We want to thank you for joining us for this coverage, and our coverage will continue. We're about to start our 4 o'clock newscast, in which we'll have much more live coverage of this situation unfolding still in Searsmont, where Robbins lumber is still on fire. There's a big chunk of the area still on fire. Crews still working to put that blaze out. We know firefighters were injured, and we know civilians were injured in this.